morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Audio Thoughts with Prince on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Like, share, and comment. Follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Prince Miller Entertainment, Facebook, Prince Miller Entertainment, Facebook group, Prince Miller Entertainment TV. We're also available on Twitter, it's PMillerENT. So follow us on Twitter, and then we'll follow back. And welcome to another edition of Audio Thoughts with Prince. And it's a debate show, and I'll give you guys a topic. I'll give you guys my own views, my own opinion, and you are free to comment in the comment section. And you're welcome new subscribers who are watching us for the first time. If you are here for the first time, big up to you, salute, and thank you very much for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. Big up to you. And to all our loyal Prince Miller Entertainment TV family, makakosha pasina mimiga apana. And so the US and Britain yesterday accused President Emerson Mnangagwa of hiding behind a finger by blaming sanctions for his misrule and rising corruption, economic mismanagement, failure to respect human rights and uphold the rule of law. Their statements came as the government and ZANU-PF rallied supporters to hold choreographed events countrywide to protest alleged sanctions by the West. Yesterday's protests were also seen as an attempt to put a show for the UN Special Rapporteur on Sanctions, Alina Dohan, who is in the country on a 10-day visit to assess the impact of the sanctions on ordinary Zimbabweans. But the US and Britain yesterday maintained that Mnangagwa's government was using sanctions as a scapegoat for a failure to run the economy and to distract citizens from scrutinizing his misrule. Blaming sanctions is a convenient scapegoat to distract the public from the real reasons behind Zimbabwe's economic challenges: corruption, economic mismanagement, and failure to respect human rights and uphold the rule of law, the US said in a statement yesterday. Billions of dollars have been lost due to decades of corruption and harmful economic policies which have accumulated in the current economic crisis. Zimbabwe has had both prosperous and difficult years during the life of the targeted sanction program. Implementation of economic and political reforms is the key to improving Zimbabwe's trajectory. The embassy said the Zimbabwean government as a whole was not subject to US sanctions, but only 83 individuals and 37 companies in a country of over 15 million were targeted. The US government can lift sanctions under various circumstances, for example, when sanctioned individuals or entities stop engaging in the behavior that landed them on the sanction list in the first place. The Zimbabwe sanctions program only targets those who engage in corruption, violate human rights, and undermine democratic processes. They are not intended to be permanent. We use sanctions to encourage sanctioned individuals to cease their malign activities. There is no US trade embargo on Zimbabwe. If an individual or entity is not on the sanction list, US companies can trade with that individual or entity. In fact, the US embassy is here to help Zimbabwe business find trusted US partners for their needs. The US said it was not an enemy to Zimbabwe, but was using sanctions to leverage political and economic reforms and human rights observation. It said it had all along supported Zimbabwe's health and education sectors, as well as several aid interventions which amounted to several billions of dollars. In a statement, the British Embassy also stated that the trade between the UK and Zimbabwe was $244 million during the last financial year. UK sanctions are asset freezes and travel bans on 5 Zimbabwean individuals for corruption and rights abuses. They don't stop trade. Let's get this straight. The UK imposed asset freezes and UK travel ban earlier this year on 5 individuals for corruption and serious human rights abuses. The UK has no economic sanctions on Zimbabwe. Hashtag it's not sanctions, the British Embassy tweeted. The facts: trade between the UK and Zimbabwe was $244 million last year, with Zimbabwe exports to the UK reaching $55 million. The UK and Zimbabwe have a bilateral trade deal which gives Zimbabwe duty and quota-free access to UK markets, it said. US President Joe Biden renewed sanctions against Zimbabwe for another year in March this year, saying Mnangagwa's administration had not made the necessary political, economic reforms required to foster rule of law, democratic governance, and protection of human rights that would warrant removal of the targeted measures. In a statement to mark the protest, Malawi President Lazarus Chakwera, who is also SADC chairperson, said they disapproved of sanctions as they constrained the country's economic recovery, human security, and sustainable growth. The sanctions increase the perception of Zimbabwe being in a high-risk profile category, thereby diminishing the credibility of investment and investor confidence while putting investments at risk. This further diminishes the country's prospects of obtaining impactful FDI, foreign direct investment, and serves as a deterrent for economic growth and stability, Chakwera said. At the anti-sanctions event in Harare, ZANU-PF Secretary for External Relations Simbarashe Mpembengwi said independent estimates show that the country lost over $42 billion over the past 20 years due to sanctions. Any unilateral measures taken by an individual state without the authorization of a UNCS resolution are illegal under international law because they infringe upon a state's right to economic and social development, he said. So guys, that's the latest here and regarding sanctions. Yesterday was the 25th of October and it was anti-sanction day, and everywhere sanctions this, sanctions that, and so they're saying, you know what, these are targeted sanctions. They don't affect any ordinary Zimbabwe. You know, if you want to do business with an American company on a super sanction list, you can do trade. And I think can the American bank, you know, transfer money to a Zimbabwean bank? Because some American banks, they really don't want to do business with Zimbabwean banks. And no matter what America, these sanctions are only targeted on individuals and some other companies which are doing corruption, and they can be lifted if those people stop whatever they are doing, and again if the government implement those economic and political reforms. And UK is saying you know, last financial year $244 million, you know, was exchanged hands between Zimbabwe and Britain. So which means that there are more people who are actually exporting their goods to the UK, and again UK again is also buying things from Zimbabwe. It's like a business rule. That's why Zimbabwe, some people are making money despite the sanctions, these sanctions, that there are people who are trading with those countries through trading near America, near Britain, other European countries out there. And don't be fooled near internet Zimbabwe whatsoever. There are people who are farming, who are actually selling their blueberries, you know, shibage, whatever they are selling to Europe countries. Because $244 million is a lot of money. At the same time, Britain and America sanctions, but deep down there are so many people who are making a killing in terms of trade, who are doing business with those countries. So guys, in the comment section. This is the audio thoughts with Prince on Prince Milan TV. Sometimes you just have to switch off your mind and start working, because you know, you want to come to Zimbabwe, you want to start business there, you know, when up internet, you know, push that back in a way that you know that Nigrikin Gatangambo win my elections, I tell president, then those of Zimbabwe. No, I don't watch Twitter Zimbabwe. You know, that's the thing. Other people will be making a killing. So sometimes you just have to switch off your mind and start working and pursue your dreams. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. And failure of doing things, don't blame my sanctions. You know, this is why I don't want to do this because of my sanctions. No, let's not try and hide behind the finger each and every time. Let's be out there and do something for ourselves. Otherwise, 20 years, my sanctions, these sanctions, that sanctions, these sanctions, that. And most of those people who are on sanction list, US embassy, whatsoever. No, I know what to go out Zimbabwe, those people will be marching to the US embassy vanenge vatone nzara. Most of them vanenge vasitomborena namari transport yekudzokera mufocus and mudiro kwavabva, you know. So that's the thing. Those 87 people who are on that sanction list are wealthy. Vane mari dzakudhara. They can afford to fly from Harare to Dubai and do shopping and come back again to Harare. So until tanyasoona vanhu vava 87 vari pasanction list vari muroad vachiprotestawo nevamwe, tozotaura more. But as for now, I still think this is just a road show. A road show iri kungoitwa nevanhu mumastreets. Kana muchiona maonero amwe, ngatitaure in the comment section. This is free, open to everybody else, as long as we keep it clean, no vulgar words, no kutukana, and timaonero akasiyana, timafungiro akasiyana, tiri vanhu vakasiyana. And so this is Audio Thoughts with Prince on Prince Media Entertainment TV. Ngatitaure in the comment section. Remember to like, share and comment. This is Audio Thoughts with Prince. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Yes,